The vast emptiness of space suddenly came alive with a shimmer of light. A massive ship, sleek and alien in design, dropped out of hyperspace near Earth's orbit. Its hull gleamed with an otherworldly metal, reflecting the distant sun's rays. This was the Galactic Empire's scout ship, the Stargazer, sent to investigate a planet that had been off their radar for far too long. Captain Zorn, a tall, blue-skinned alien with 4 arms, stood on the bridge. His large, multifaceted eyes scanned the view screen, taking in the blue and green planet below. "Interesting," he muttered. "This planet seems more developed than our records show." His second-in-command, Lieutenant Vex, a shorter alien with tentacles for arms, slithered up beside him. "Sir, we're detecting high levels of technology, far beyond what a Class 3 civilization should possess." Zorn's antenna twitched in surprise. "Impossible. Our last survey showed them barely harnessing electricity. Scan again." But the scans didn't lie. Earth was buzzing with activity. Satellites orbited the planet, space stations floated in low orbit, and the moon bore clear signs of colonization. "Sir," Vex reported, "we're being hailed by the humans." Zorn's eyes widened. "Put them through." The view screen flickered to life, showing a stern-faced human woman in a crisp military uniform. Her voice was steady as she spoke. "This is General Maria Chen of Earth's United Defense Force. You have entered restricted space. Identify yourselves immediately." Zorn, taken aback by the human's directness, quickly composed himself. "I am Captain Zorn of the Galactic Empire's scout ship Stargazer. We come in peace, seeking to establish contact with your world." General Chen's eyes narrowed. "We've been aware of your empire for some time, Captain. We've intercepted your transmissions, studied your technology. We chose to remain hidden, but now that you're here, let's talk." The revelation stunned Zorn. These humans had not only advanced rapidly, but had also managed to intercept and decode Imperial transmissions. This was unprecedented. "Of course," Zorn replied, trying to hide his shock. "We would be honored to meet with your leaders." Within hours, a delegation from Earth arrived on the Stargazer. General Chen led the group, accompanied by scientists, diplomats, and other military personnel. The humans moved with confidence, their eyes taking in every detail of the alien ship without a hint of fear or awe. In the ship's conference room, Zorn and his officers sat across from the Earth delegation. The captain began with a rehearsed speech about the benevolence of the Empire and the benefits of joining their galactic community. But halfway through, General Chen held up her hand. "Captain, let's cut to the chase. We know about your Empire's practice of integrating new worlds. We're not interested in becoming a vassal state." Zorn's antenna drooped in surprise. "I am not sure what you mean, General." A human scientist, Dr. Amit Patel, spoke up. "We've studied the fate of other worlds that joined your empire. They all lost their autonomy, their resources stripped for the Empire's benefit. Earth will not suffer the same fate." The Imperial officers exchanged nervous glances. This was not going according to plan. Zorn tried to regain control of the situation. "Surely we can come to an agreement that benefits both parties." General Chen leaned forward, her eyes intense. "Oh, we're open to agreements, Captain, but they'll be on our terms. Humanity doesn't compromise its freedom, ever." The atmosphere in the room grew tense. Zorn realized that this first contact was nothing like what he had expected. These humans were not the primitive beings they had anticipated. They were smart, prepared, and fiercely independent. As the meeting continued, it became clear that the balance of power was not what the Empire had assumed. The humans presented their own proposals, showcasing technologies that rivaled or even surpassed some of the Empire's. By the end of the day, Zorn found himself sending a very different report back to Imperial High Command than he had expected. The humans were not a species to be easily conquered or coerced. They were a force to be reckoned with. As the Earth delegation prepared to leave, General Chen had one last message for Captain Zorn. "Tell your Empire this, Captain. Humanity is ready to join the galactic community, but as equals, not subjects. We don't compromise, we lead. With that, the humans departed, leaving behind a stunned Imperial crew and a captain who realized that the discovery of Earth might change the course of galactic history forever. The news of Earth's unexpected advancement spread through the galactic empire like wildfire. Emperor Zax, a towering figure with gleaming scales and piercing red eyes, sat on his crystal throne, his tail twitching with irritation. "How dare these humans resist us?" he hissed, addressing his council of alien advisors. "We are the Galactic Empire. Planets beg to join us." High Chancellor Vrock, an elderly alien with tentacles for a beard, spoke up. "Your Majesty, perhaps we should approach this differently." The humans seemed quite formidable. Emperor Zax's eyes narrowed. "Are you suggesting we show weakness, Vrock?" "Not at all, Your Majesty," Vrock replied quickly. "But maybe we can offer them something they can't refuse." The Emperor leaned back, considering. "Very well. Prepare our most impressive fleet. We'll give these humans a choice they can't ignore." Meanwhile, on Earth, leaders from around the world gathered in a secret underground bunker. The room buzzed with tension as General Chen briefed them on the Empire's capabilities. "Their technology is advanced," she explained, pointing to holographic displays. "But we've closed the gap significantly. Our biggest advantage is that they don't know our true strength." President Amelia Rodriguez of the United Earth government nodded. "So, what's our strategy?" Dr. Patel, the scientist from the first contact, stepped forward. "We've analyzed their ship's data. They rely heavily on a rare element called xenium for their advanced tech. We found a way to synthesize it." Gasps and murmurs filled the room. This was big news. However, Dr. Patel continued, "We haven't had time to implement it fully. We need to stall them." Just then, alarms blared. A junior officer rushed in. "Mr. President, Madam General, we're detecting a massive fleet entering our solar system." On the main screen, hundreds of Imperial ships appeared, dwarfing the Stargazer from before. At their center was a colossal vessel, easily the size of a small moon. General Chen's face hardened. "They're here to force our hand." The Imperial fleet took position around Earth, their weapons systems clearly visible, but not yet active. A transmission came through on all Earth's communication channels. Emperor Zax's face filled screens worldwide. His alien features twisted into what might have been a smile, but looked more like a predatory grin. "People of Earth," he began, his voice deep and resonant. "I am Emperor Zax of the Galactic Empire. We have come to offer you a place in our grand civilization. Join us and share in the wonders of the galaxy. Resist and face annihilation." In the bunker, President Rodriguez turned to her advisors. "Options." General Chen stepped forward. "We can't match their numbers yet, but our technology is close, if we can buy more time." Dr. Patel nodded eagerly. "Yes, we need just a few more weeks to fully implement the xenium synthesis." President Rodriguez took a deep breath. "Then we stall. Open a channel to the Emperor." On the Imperial flagship, Emperor Zax was surprised to receive a response so quickly. The human leader appeared on his screen, looking calm despite the Armada at her planet's doorstep. "Emperor Zax," President Rodriguez began, "we appreciate your generous offer. However, Earth is home to many nations and peoples. We cannot make such a monumental decision hastily. We request time to consult with all our world's leaders." Zax frowned. This wasn't the immediate capitulation he expected. "You have 1 Earth week to decide. No more." As the transmission ended, Zax turned to his advisors. "Prepare for a full invasion. I doubt these humans will see reason." Back on Earth, as soon as the channel closed, the bunker erupted into action. President Rodriguez barked orders. "I want every scientist, every engineer working round the clock on the xenium project. General Chen, prepare our defenses, but keep them hidden. We can't let the Empire know we're ready for a fight." Dr. Petal rushed off, already coordinating with his team globally. General Chen began mobilizing Earth's hidden fleet and weapon systems. As the hours ticked by, the people of Earth went about their lives, many unaware of the knife's edge their fate balanced on. In labs and secret bases around the world, humans worked tirelessly, pushing the boundaries of science and military strategy. The Empire watched from above, their massive ships a constant reminder of the threat looming over the planet. But they didn't realize that with each passing moment, humanity was growing stronger, more prepared. In the depths of a hidden facility, a team of scientists cheered as a small device pulsed with energy. Dr. Patel picked it up, his eyes shining with triumph. "We did it," he whispered. Synthetic xenium. The clock was ticking. Earth had 6 days left to prepare for a decision that would shape the future of not just their world, but the entire galaxy. The underground lab hummed with energy as Dr. Amit Patel and his team worked tirelessly. Sparks flew from machines, and holographic displays flickered with complex equations. In the center of it all stood a device no bigger than a microwave oven. "It's ready," Dr. Patel announced, his voice filled with a mix of excitement and exhaustion. "The xenium amplifier is complete." General Chen, who had been overseeing the project, stepped forward. Her eyes widened as she looked at the unassuming device. "This is it. This is what will save Earth." Dr. Patel nodded, a glimmer of pride in his eyes. "Don't let its size fool you, General. This device can amplify the power of our synthetic xenium by a factor of 1,000. It will give us an edge the Empire won't see coming." As they spoke, a young scientist burst into the room. "Dr. Patel, General, you need to see this." She pulled up a holographic display showing the Earth's orbit. Hundreds of new dots had appeared alongside the Imperial fleet. General Chen's brow furrowed. "What are we looking at?" "New ships," the scientist explained. "They just arrived. The Empire is doubling its fleet." A tense silence fell over the room. Dr. Patel broke it, his voice steady. "We need to move faster. General, how soon can we install the amplifier in our defense systems?" "I'll make it happen now," General Chen replied, already reaching for her communicator. "We'll work around the clock if we have to." Meanwhile, aboard the Imperial flagship, Emperor Zax paced impatiently. His tail swished back and forth, betraying his agitation. "Why haven't the humans responded yet?" he growled. High Chancellor Vrock approached cautiously. "Your Majesty, perhaps they truly do need time to." "Silence," Zax snapped. "I will not be made a fool of by some backwater species. Prepare a landing party. We'll show these humans the might of the Empire up close." Back on Earth, as teams of engineers and soldiers worked to integrate the xenium amplifier into the planet's defense grid, an alarm blared through the command center. "Multiple dropships detected," a technician shouted. "They're heading for major cities across the globe." President Rodriguez, who had been coordinating with world leaders, turned to General Chen. "Is the amplifier ready?" "Not yet," Chen replied, her face grim. "We need more time." "Then we do this the old-fashioned way," Rodriguez declared. "Activate our conventional defenses. Show the Empire that humanity won't go down without a fight." Across the world, hidden missile silos opened, and advanced fighter jets took to the skies. As Imperial dropships entered the atmosphere, they were met with a barrage of firepower that lit up the sky. In New York, Tokyo, London, and other major cities, people watched in awe and fear as battles raged overhead. Imperial troops, clad in advanced armor, began to land, only to be met by Earth's military forces. The Empire's technological advantage was clear, but humanity's determination and home field advantage evened the odds. In the streets of Cairo, a squad of human soldiers used guerrilla tactics to outmaneuver the alien invaders. In the skies over Rio de Janeiro, Earth pilots showcased maneuvers that left their Imperial counterparts stunned. As the battles raged, Dr. Patel and his team worked frantically to complete the integration of the xenium amplifier. "We're almost there," he muttered, sweat beading on his forehead as he made final adjustments. In orbit, Emperor Zax watched the resistance with growing fury. "Impossible," he roared. "How are they holding us back? Where is this power coming from?" Just then, a blinding light erupted from the Earth's surface. A beam of pure energy shot into space, slicing through one of the Imperial ships like it was made of paper. In the command center, cheers erupted. "The amplifier is online," General Chen announced, a rare smile on her face. President Rodriguez stepped forward, her eyes fixed on the display showing the Imperial fleet. "Send a message to Emperor Zax," she ordered. "Tell him it's time to talk, on our terms." As the message was sent, more energy beams shot from Earth's surface, each one taking out an Imperial ship. The invasion force began to retreat, clearly unprepared for this level of resistance. Emperor Zax, for the first time in his long reign, felt fear. He stared at the view screen, watching his mighty fleet being decimated by weapons he couldn't comprehend. "Your Majesty," Vrock said quietly, "perhaps we should consider diplomatic options." Zax didn't respond. His eyes were fixed on the blue planet below, a world he had gravely underestimated. As another Imperial ship exploded in a brilliant flash, one thought echoed in his mind. What kind of species had they awakened? The tide had turned. Humanity's secret weapon was unveiled, and the galaxy would never be the same. The sky above Earth blazed with the light of 1,000 explosions. Imperial ships, once proud and mighty, now fell from orbit like dying stars. The xenium amplifier had changed everything. In the command center, General Chen watched the battle unfold on massive screens. Her face was a mask of determination. "Target the flagship," she ordered. "Let's end this." But Emperor Zax wasn't going down without a fight. His voice boomed across all communication channels. "You think you've won. Foolish humans, you've only awakened the full might of the Empire." Suddenly, a massive portal opened in space. Through it came wave after wave of Imperial reinforcements. Thousands of ships poured out, far more than Earth had faced before. Dr. Patel's eyes widened in horror. That's impossible. The energy required to open a portal that large. They must have their own xenium technology, President Rodriguez realized. She turned to General Chen. "Can we hold them off?" Chen's reply was grim. "Not for long. The amplifier is powerful, but it has limits. We're outnumbered 100-1 now." As if to prove her point, the new Imperial ships began to fire. Their weapons were stronger, fueled by xenium. Earth's defenses, so effective before, now began to buckle under the assault. In New York, the Statue of Liberty crumbled as a stray blast hit it. In Beijing, the Great Wall was scared by orbital bombardment. Across the globe, people huddled in fear as the battle raged overhead. But humanity wasn't done yet. In a hidden base deep under the Pacific Ocean, a team of scientists and engineers had been working on a backup plan. Dr. Patel's voice crackled over the comm. "Project Phoenix is ready. It's now or never." President Rodriguez hesitated for only a moment. "Do it." Across the Earth, hidden launch sites activated. Hundreds of sleek, advanced ships rose from the ground. From the seas, even from orbit where they had been disguised as satellites. This was humanity's secret fleet, built in preparation for this very day. In the command ship of this new fleet, Captain Amira Hassan took her seat. "All ships, report in," she commanded. One by one, voices responded, representing every nation on Earth. "This is it, people," Amira said, her voice steady. "Everything we've trained for. Let's show the Empire what humanity can really do." With that, Earth's fleet engaged. They were still outnumbered, but these ships were special. Built with the knowledge gained from studying Imperial tech and powered by the xenium amplifier, they were more than a match for their alien counterparts. The battle was epic. Imperial ships, unused to facing equals in combat, found themselves outmaneuvered by human pilots. Captain Hassan's voice rang out with encouragement and orders, coordinating the fleet with skill that impressed even the seasoned General Chen. On the Imperial flagship, Emperor Zax watched in disbelief as his reinforcements were slowly but surely pushed back. "How?" he roared. "How are they doing this?" High Chancellor Vrock, always the voice of reason, spoke softly. "Perhaps, Your Majesty, we underestimated them. These humans, they're unlike any species we've encountered." In orbit, a squadron of Earth fighters, led by ace pilot Jin Li, broke through the Imperial lines. "We're approaching the flagship," Jin reported, requesting permission to engage. "Granted," came General Chen's reply. "End this, Jin." Jin's squad unleashed a barrage of xenium-enhanced torpedoes. They struck the Imperial flagship with devastating effect. Explosions rippled across its hull, and its engines began to fail. Emperor Zax felt his mighty ship shudder. For the first time in his life, he knew fear. "Retreat," he whispered. Then louder, "Full retreat." The order spread through the Imperial fleet. Ships began to turn, fleeing back through the portal they had come from. Earth's forces, led by the indomitable Captain Hassan, gave chase, destroying as many as they could before they escaped. As the last Imperial ship disappeared, a cheer went up from every corner of the Earth. In the command center, tears of joy and relief flowed freely. They had done it. Against all odds, humanity had stood against the greatest power in the galaxy and emerged victorious. President Rodriguez stepped up to a microphone. Her voice broadcast to every home, every shelter, every ship in Earth's fleet. "People of Earth, we have won. But this is only the beginning. The galaxy now knows we're here. And we've shown them that humanity doesn't just survive. We thrive." As the cheers rang out across the planet, the leaders of Earth knew one thing for certain. The age of humanity hiding in the shadows of the galaxy was over. Now, it was time for humanity to take its place among the stars. The celebration of Earth's victory was short-lived. In the weeks that followed, humanity realized that the real work was just beginning. The Galactic Empire, though beaten, was far from defeated. In a secret meeting room deep beneath the rebuilt United Nations headquarters in New York, Earth's leaders gathered to plan their next move. President Rodriguez stood at the head of the table, her face etched with determination. "We've proven we can defend ourselves," she said, "but now we need to secure our place in the galaxy." General Chen nodded in agreement. "We can't wait for the Empire to regroup and attack again. We need to take the fight to them." Dr. Patel, who had been quiet until now, spoke up. "I have an idea," he said, pulling up a holographic display. "We've analyzed the data from the battle. The Empire's technology is based on xenium, just like ours. But they don't use it as efficiently." The room buzzed with excitement as Dr. Patel explained his plan. By combining their xenium amplifier technology with the captured Imperial ships, Earth could create a fleet more powerful than anything the galaxy had ever seen. Captain Amira Hassan, hero of the battle for Earth, leaned forward. "Give me those ships," she said, her eyes gleaming. "I'll take the fight right to the Empire's doorstep." The plan was set in motion. Over the next few months, Earth scientists and engineers worked tirelessly to upgrade their fleet. Captain Hassan trained her crews, preparing them for the challenges ahead. Meanwhile, across the galaxy, news of Earth's victory spread like wildfire. On thousands of worlds under Imperial control, hope began to stir. On the planet Zephyria, a race of winged beings watched Earth's transmissions in secret. Their leader, Orcs, turned to his council. "For centuries, we've waited for a chance to break free from the Empire. This could be it." Similar scenes played out across the galaxy. Species that had long suffered under Imperial rule began to whisper of rebellion. Back on Earth, the day of reckoning arrived. Captain Hassan stood on the bridge of her flagship, the Phoenix, surrounded by a fleet of ships that gleamed with the power of advanced xenium technology. "All ships, report in," she commanded. One by one, The captains of Earth's fleet sounded off, ready for battle. With a flash of light, the fleet jumped into hyperspace, leaving Earth behind and heading straight for the heart of the Empire. They emerged in orbit around Imperius Prime, the capital world of the Galactic Empire. The planet was surrounded by a massive defensive fleet, but they were caught off guard by Earth's sudden appearance. "All ships, engage," Captain Hassan ordered. The battle that followed was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Earth's ships moved with incredible speed and precision, their xenium-enhanced weapons cutting through Imperial defenses like they were made of paper. The Empire's ships, once the terror of the galaxy, found themselves outmatched at every turn. On the surface of Imperius Prime, Emperor Zax watched in horror as his mighty fleet was decimated. "How is this possible?" he roared. They were primitives just months ago. High Chancellor Vrock, always the pragmatist, saw the writing on the wall. "Your Majesty," he said carefully, "perhaps it's time to consider negotiation." But it was too late for that. As Earth's fleet pushed closer to the planet, something unexpected happened. Imperial ships began to turn their weapons on each other. Confused reports flooded in from across the Empire. On planet after planet, Imperial garrisons were being overthrown. The oppressed species of the galaxy, inspired by Earth's example, had risen up in revolt. Captain Hassan's voice boomed across all frequencies. "People of the galaxy, this is Captain Amira Hassan of Earth. We come not as conquerors, but as liberators. The reign of the Empire is over. Today, we offer you something better: freedom." The response was overwhelming. Ships from 100 different species joined Earth's fleet, turning on their former Imperial masters. Emperor Zax, seeing his empire crumbling before his eyes, fled the planet in a small, fast ship. His destination unknown. As the dust settled, Captain Hassan stood on the steps of the Imperial Palace, surrounded by representatives from across the galaxy. Earth's leaders, transported by their fastest ships, arrived to witness the historic moment. President Rodriguez stepped forward, her voice carrying to all corners of the former empire. "Today marks a new beginning," she declared, "not just for Earth, but for all free peoples of the galaxy. Together, we will build a future based not on domination, but on cooperation and mutual respect." The cheers that erupted could be heard on 1,000 worlds. The age of the Empire was over. The age of Earth had begun. In the months following Earth's victory over Imperius Prime, the galaxy entered a period of rapid change. The once mighty Galactic Empire was crumbling, its territories declaring independence one after another. At the center of it all was Earth, the unlikely hero of a new age. On the planet Sander, once a jewel in the Empire's crown, a meeting of galactic importance was taking place. Representatives from 100 worlds gathered in a grand hall, its walls adorned with murals depicting the fall of the Empire. Captain Amira Hassan, now Admiral of Earth's fleet, stood at the podium. Her voice carried across the hall, strong and clear. "Friends, allies, fellow free beings," she began, "we stand at a crossroads. The Empire has fallen, but the work of building a better galaxy has only just begun." As she spoke, screens around the hall showed images from across the galaxy. On world after world, statues of Emperor Zax were being torn down. Imperial flags were replaced with symbols of newfound freedom. But not all was peaceful. Some worlds had descended into chaos without Imperial control. In the crowd, Dr. Amit Patil listened intently. He had been instrumental in developing the technology that had given Earth its edge, and now he saw both the promise and peril of sharing that knowledge. "We must be careful," he whispered to General Chen, who sat beside him. "Our technology in the wrong hands could lead to more tyranny, not less." General Chen nodded grimly. "That's why we're here. To ensure that doesn't happen." As Admiral Hassan concluded her speech, the floor opened for discussion. Representatives from various worlds took turns speaking, each with their own concerns and hopes for the future. The winged Orcs of Zephyria spoke of the need for a defense pact to prevent the rise of another empire. The crystalline beings of Lumina argued for open sharing of technology to elevate all species. The debate was heated but respectful, a far cry from the imperial decrees of the past. Meanwhile, in a dark corner of the galaxy, the fallen Emperor Zax seethed with rage. His small ship, once an escape pod, had become his mobile throne. A handful of loyal followers crowded around him in the cramped space. "They think they've won," Zax hissed, his scales bristling with anger. "But I still have one card left to play." He turned to his most trusted scientist, a spindly alien named Vex. "Is it ready?" Vex nodded nervously. "Yes, Your Majesty. The Omega device is primed. With it, we can destabilize the xenium cores of their ships. Earth's fleet will be crippled." Zax's eyes gleamed with malice. "Excellent. Prepare to strike at their next gathering. We'll show the galaxy that the Empire still has teeth." Back on Sander, unaware of the looming threat, the Galactic Council continued its deliberations. Earth's leaders, including President Rodriguez, had joined the discussion via hologram. "We propose a galactic alliance," Rodriguez said, her image flickering slightly. "Not an empire, but a confederation of free worlds. Each planet governs itself, but we stand together against common threats." The idea was met with cautious approval. Many worlds, still scared by centuries of imperial rule, were wary of any central authority. But Earth's actions in liberating the galaxy had earned them trust. As the Council prepared to vote on the proposal, alarms suddenly blared. Admiral Hassan received an urgent message on her communicator. "Multiple unknown ships approaching," a voice crackled. "They're on an attack vector." Hassan's training kicked in immediately. All ships, battle stations, civilian vessels, prepare for immediate evacuation. On the main screen, a fleet of ships appeared. At their center was a vessel that made everyone's blood run cold, the personal ship of Emperor Zax. "Attention, rebels and traitors." Zax's voice boomed across all frequencies. "You thought you could steal my empire? Think again. Behold the power of the Omega device." A wave of energy pulsed from Zax's ship. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, one by one, ships in Earth's fleet began to lose power. "Our xenium cores are destabilizing," an engineer shouted. "We're losing control." Panic began to spread through the council chamber. Had they celebrated too soon? Was this the end of their newfound freedom? But Admiral Hassan remained calm. She turned to Dr. Patel, a determined look in her eyes. "Doctor, you said our technology in the wrong hands could lead to tyranny. Now's your chance to prove it can save us instead." Patel nodded, already pulling up schematics on his tablet. "I have an idea," he said, "but it's risky. We'll need every ship we have, powered or not." As Zax's fleet drew closer, ready to reclaim their lost empire, Earth and its allies prepared for one final desperate stand. The fate of the galaxy hung in the balance. The space around Xander was chaos. Emperor Zax's Omega device had crippled much of Earth's fleet, leaving them vulnerable. The fallen Emperor's laughter echoed through every communication channel. "You see," Zax crowed, "the Empire always wins." But Admiral Amira Hassan wasn't ready to give up. She turned to Dr. Patel, her eyes fierce. "Doctor, what's your plan?" Patel's fingers flew over his tablet. "The Omega device affects xenium cores, right? So let's use that against them. If we can reverse the polarity of our remaining cores and create a feedback loop." "In simple terms, Doctor," General Chen urged. Patel looked up, a glimmer of hope in his eyes. "We're going to turn their weapon into our biggest advantage." Hassan nodded. "Do it." As Zax's fleet closed in, the remaining Earth ships and their allies moved into a strange formation. To the Empire, it looked like they were surrendering. "Victory is ours," Zax declared. "Fire at will." But as the Imperial ships fired, something unexpected happened. The energy from their weapons was absorbed by the Earth fleet's formation. Suddenly, a massive surge of power erupted from the center of the group. A blinding light engulfed everything. When it faded, Zax's fleet was drifting powerless in space. The Almava device had backfired spectacularly. Admiral Hassan's voice rang out clear and strong. "Emperor Zax, your reign is over. For good this time." In the following hours, Zax and his loyal followers were captured. The former emperor, once the most powerful being in the galaxy, was now a prisoner. As the dust settled, the Galactic Council reconvened. The attack had shown them all how fragile peace could be. President Rodriguez addressed the gathering, her hologram standing tall. "Today, we faced extinction and survived," she said, "not through the power of one world or one species, but through unity. This is the strength of our proposed galactic alliance." One by one, representatives from different worlds stood up. The winged Orcs of Zephyria spoke first. "Zephyria stands with Earth. We join the alliance." Others followed. The crystalline beings of Lumina, the methane brothers of Gaseous Prime, even former Imperial strongholds, each pledged to join the new galactic alliance. As the pledges continued, Dr. Patil approached Admiral Hassan and General Chen. "There's something you need to see," he said, leading them to a quiet corner. On his tablet, he showed them data from the battle. "When we reversed the Almava device, we discovered something incredible. The Xenium cores, they're alive." "Alive?" Chen asked, incredulous. "What do you mean?" Patil's eyes shone with excitement. "They're a form of energy being. All this time, we've been using them as batteries, but they're sentient. And now, they want to communicate." Hassan's mind raced with the implications. "Does anyone else know about this?" "Not yet," Patil replied. "I thought you should be the first to know." Their discussion was interrupted by cheers from the main hall. The vote was in. The Galactic Alliance had been formed, with Earth at its heart. President Rodriguez's hologram smiled broadly. "A new era begins today. An era of cooperation, of exploration, of growth. Together, we will build a galaxy where all beings, no matter their origin, can thrive." As the celebrations began, Hassan, Chen, and Patil exchanged glances. They knew that the discovery of the Xenium beings would change everything once again, but that was a challenge for another day. For now, they joined the festivities. Beings from 100 worlds mingled, sharing food, drink, and stories. Former enemies became friends. Scientists exchanged ideas that would revolutionize technology. And in every corner, plans were made for grand adventures among the stars. In a holding cell deep below, the former Emperor Zax watched on a small screen as his empire transformed into something new, something he could never have imagined. For the first time in his long life, he felt a new emotion: regret. As the twin sons of Sander said, casting a golden glow over the proceedings, Admiral Hassan stepped out onto a balcony. She looked up at the stars, countless points of light in the darkening sky. Each one a potential new ally, a new adventure, a new home. A small smile played on her lips. Humanity had not just survived first contact. They had thrived, adapted, and risen to heights no one could have predicted. And this, she knew, was only the beginning. In the vast expanse of the galaxy, a new chapter was starting. And humanity, once a small, overlooked species on a tiny blue planet, was now at the forefront of this grand cosmic story. The age of the Galactic Alliance had begun, and the universe would never be the same again.